Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Hump Day edition of Today in Sports Betting. We're gonna do our college show first, Scott, as we take a look. Our format is kind of evolved into just kind of looking at the board, taking the top two games each and every day. If there's a day where there's three good games, we'll probably play those. But most days during the week, we're struggling to find two decent games. So we do have a couple involving top teams here tonight. So let's kick it off. Yeah, I was here yesterday. I know your play of the day did well. You had the Toledo Kent State over. Everything worked out all right with that, right?
Yeah, game went over by about 20 points, so I couldn't complain there. I know that for the actual primetime games, we disagreed on the sides. You won both. You liked Kansas and you also liked Michigan State. Both those won very, very easily. I think Kansas won by about 31, I think. That game was a blowout from start to finish. Michigan State, once again, killed Rutgers. Rutgers just always loses to Michigan State. Tried to be different, but I know for totals, I split those. I like the under in the Rutgers-Michigan State game. But I know I also lean to Miami, plus the points against North Carolina, plus 3.5. And I also liked Miami on the money line. They were up, 9 with about 5 to go, and they lost by 2, I think.
Yeah, they really gave that one away, man.
They covered. They just didn't hit the money line. I'm not really sure how they lost the game, to be honest. But, overall it was fine. Can't complain. Anytime the play that A wins, I can't be too mad. But the Miami money line would have been a very nice hit for me. But unfortunately, kind of went down in flames.
So close. So
close. I mean, when you're up 9 at home with about 5 to go and you lose outright by 2, that's not exactly ideal. But, oh well.
All right, so let's get rolling here. First of all, taking a look in the Big Ten. Looky, who's playing good basketball right now, Scott? It is the Michigan Wolverines, and they're hosting the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Gophers had their little brief run in the sun here a week or so back, and now it appears they are once again back to being nobody. So, this one shows Michigan a 7.5-point favorite. 150.5 is your total. What you got going on here, bud?
So this line has climbed a lot. It opened up at -5.5 for Michigan. Now it's up to -7.5. I'm going to take Michigan. I've watched Michigan play this year on numerous occasions. This team is just very good. This team is currently 9-0, 7-0 at home. I said yesterday I think that they are the best team in the Big Ten. And this team is just so talented offensively. I mean, you go through the actual just a list of players they have, whether it's Dickinson at the center spot. You also have Wagner. You also have a brand new point guard that you brought in to replace Xavier Simpson, who looks very sharp in the process. This team just can't stop really scoring. This team is just very, very good. And Juwan Howard, very, very solid addition as a coach. I know that after the original head coach left for the NBA, before that imploded, there were some rumors that Juwan Howard, of course, would be I'd say a perfect fit because, of course, he's an alum. He also can recruit well. Michigan, fun fact, has a top 5 recruiting class for next year. They have 3 people averaging in double digits. Really impressed, though, by Isaiah Livers, who's been very good once again this year. Just looking through the actual roster, this team is just very talented. And Minnesota, don't get me wrong, I have been impressed that they have been able to beat some good teams this year. But on the road, they're 0-2 straight up and 0-2 against the spread. So I don't exactly trust this Minnesota team on the highway, and I think that Juwan Howard's a much better coach than Pitino. So for that reason, I'll take Michigan. I think they win this game going away.
All right, yeah, this is a Golden Gopher squad that's had some nice wins, like you said. They
killed Michigan State and everything like that, but it's all at home.
Well, yeah, you're right. They beat St. Louis, Iowa, and Michigan State. Had a nice little 3-game run there at home, dispatching 3 very good teams. Then they ran up against the Badgers, and their defense put up just 59 points until they were able to rebound against Ohio State. By the way, Scott, what's wrong with Ohio State this year? They're usually at least competitive. They're not necessarily a national powerhouse, but they're certainly more competitive than they have been this year.
Well, Ohio State's usually not that bad. I know this year they started off pretty well, but then they had a couple of injuries. I know their best player ended up getting mono for a couple of games there. They're still 8-3 though, so it's not like they hit a wall or anything. But Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to end up squeaking into a tournament spot, maybe. I mean, it really depends on how they finish up conference play, but we'll see. I know Ohio State's 8-3. I think it's just another true testament to how deep the Big Ten is.
Yeah, I don't think there's much question the Big Ten. We talked about it before. Top to bottom is probably the best conference in the country.
Yeah.
Especially from those, from the mid to the low.
Mm.
They're just competitive games each and every night. Yeah, I will.
I just can't look at Minnesota and just say, well, you're 2 games on the road. You lost to Wisconsin by 12, and you lost to Illinois by 27. I can't look at those 2 games and just say, you know what, I like you getting points for Michigan on the road. This team's awful on the highway.
Yeah, you're right. Although Michigan hasn't been,
they haven't been cover machines by any means.
No, they haven't. They struggled at home against Penn State, failing to cover the 7 there. They did care of Northwestern, which congratulations.
Northwestern's not bad either. But if you're looking at how they've been at home, they're 4-2 against the spread. It's not like they've been awful by any means. But Michigan so far this season offensively has been fantastic. I mean, they're averaging 82.6 points per game. They're averaging 82.7 points at home. Minnesota on the road. So overall, they're averaging 81.6 for Minnesota. On the road, 62 points per game.
What's Michigan's best win, Scott?
Well, they don't really have many, I'll tell you that much. But if you look at who they've actually played and the margin that they've won by, their best win is actually probably against Northwestern because Northwestern was ranked for a decent portion of the year, and they won by 19. It's not a great schedule, I'm aware of that, but I can't look at Minnesota, who, in my opinion, has basically one guy in Marcus Carr. Now, don't get me wrong. Marcus Carr is a hell of a basketball player. He's very, very good. I know that they also have Liam Robbins, who's a pretty good center. And crazy part is he could have been a Drake. So Drake might have been even better if he chose to not transfer. But other than those 2 guys, am I a big fan of Gotch? Am I a big fan of Calchier? Not really. I mean, I think that this team's mostly just Marcus Carr and how far it can carry them. I think Minnesota just lacks the scoring depth that Michigan has. I think Michigan should win this game by probably around 10. So I'll lean to Michigan in this spot.
All right, I don't know that I'm convinced on this Michigan team. If they win this one, it's going to go a long way towards convincing me. I haven't just seen anything from their body of work that really makes me want to back this squad.
I'm just fading Minnesota on the road.
Fair enough. You know what? I'm gonna sit back and just keep the points rolling in, bud. I'll play it with the number where it ends up stopping 7.5 now. We could have that up to 8.5 by game time, maybe 9 points.
I'm assuming we also agree on the over on this one.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I don't think either one of these defenses is the highlight, although Michigan has played some good defense again against bad teams.
Both teams are averaging 80+, so you can't really argue with at least looking towards an over because this line should continue to climb.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'll give a small lean to the over there, although you start getting at 150 or so, things start getting hinky.
Yeah, I think both teams could potentially get to 70+, 75. If Michigan scores 80-something, really would not surprise me.
Yeah, well, it does. It gives you a couple of options. It gives you a back-and-forth affair where they both score, 75 to 80, or it gives you the blowout option where
Michigan drops a 90 and
Michigan puts up 80, I was going to say 80 to 90, and that should be able to get it done. So I'll lean Minnesota with the points. Very, very small play there. I just don't think we have enough body of work on Michigan. You could absolutely be right. Michigan could blow them out here, but I'm from Missouri, so you're gonna have to show me just one more time here. So yeah, give me Minnesota plus the points wherever that ends up, and I'll lean with you on the over.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, so moving to the Big 12, Scott. As Baylor goes up against Oklahoma, Baylor by 11 total in this one's 151. Man, the more I see this Baylor team play and I see this Gonzaga team play, the more heartbroken I am about us not getting to see that game a couple Saturdays back between them.
Well, they didn't officially cancel it; they rescheduled it, so you might see it later on. We'll see.
Yeah, I know, and maybe they'll both still be, undefeated and 1-2 in the country, but. That would have been I think it would have been a special game, and it certainly would have given us an idea who is better. Who do you think is better right now, Scott? Who do you like better? You like Baylor or Gonzaga better?
Right now, I got to say Gonzaga. It's just a matter of no matter who they've gone up against defensively, they absolutely just maul teams on offense. I mean, they scored 98 against Virginia.
Yeah, that's probably,
I mean, that's unheard of.
to me, one of the most impressive performances in college basketball this year. Not just necessarily the margin of victory, but the fact they put up 90 plus, like that pack line defense was nothing.
I mean, I got Gonzaga about, I'd say, a game into the season at 10-1 or around 11-1 to win the title. They're down to around 3-1, so I can't complain.
No.
Am I going to bet on Baylor to win the title? Probably at some point, because I do think this is the second best team, and I do think that with Gonzaga's history of collapsing in the tournament, I think Baylor's got a shot to make the Final Four. So I might sprinkle that as well. But as of right now, there's only one team that I really bet on. Well, technically two if you include the long shot. But my main favorite was Gonzaga, and this team has looked even better than I thought it would.
Yeah, you're going to get I think you're going to get a Baylor team there that's going to put up one or two Big 12 losses, and I think that's going to be a good time to buy low on them as far as their national championship.
They'll probably split with Kansas, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, and one of those teams is going to be able to jump up and surprise them. I don't know.
Maybe losing to Texas Tech and Lubbock, one of those.
Something like that, yeah. At Texas Tech, maybe at West Virginia, somewhere along those lines. A couple of pretty good teams there. Here's the big question for our viewers out there right now. Do you think it's going to be this Oklahoma team, Scott?
No. No. Oklahoma, don't get me wrong, has been decent this year, 6-2 overall. But just once again, it's just a matter of you look at Baylor's roster from top to bottom, and I know that Oklahoma has been playing well lately. They've won 4 of their last 5. They beat West Virginia at home in their last game and covered the spread in the process. Baylor's not covered in their last 2. They only beat Alcorn State by 29, which is not going to cover 44, but, scored 105 points. I'll give them a pass.
Right.
They ended up winning on the road against Iowa State by 11. They were laying 15.5. But simply put, I just think Baylor is much better as a team. It's just a matter of Oklahoma has some talent. Baylor has, I'd say, a productive 1 through 8, 1 through 9. Where you just look at this rotation, they just plug in people and everyone can contribute. I got to like Baylor. I know that money has come in on Oklahoma, and Oklahoma can maybe keep this game close. I don't see it. I just think Baylor is just on another level in comparison. You?
Yeah, I'm really kind of torn. This is like you said, this is a Baylor team that's played very well. There's a couple of signs in their last couple of games. Well, the 44.
They blew them out. They didn't.
I'm going to give you a pass on that. Yeah. That's just the markets picking a number. It really doesn't mean anything. The Iowa State game.
That was a sweat for a little while for them.
Yeah, that's a little more troubling to me because this is not a good Iowa State team. This is not one of your better Iowa State teams that we've seen in the past that has been a tournament team. But I think Oklahoma is better than Iowa State. You agree with that?
I agree with that, but I also think that Baylor was on the road in that game. Of course, Iowa State was getting up for it. I think that you're turning back to Baylor for this one. Yeah. Oklahoma on the road this season. They haven't played a road game in about a month. Last road game was December 9th. They ended up beating TCU on the road by 4. Game after, they played on the road against Xavier, lost by 22. Haven't played a road game since.
Yeah, that's the thing with this Oklahoma team. They've really just played two good teams. I mean, you could count West Virginia if you wanted to, but they've lost to both Xavier and Texas Tech. That's troubling to me. I think this Baylor team is really good. I'm going to go ahead. I'll go with you as far as laying that 11. I hate laying 11 in conference play to unless the team is just absolutely dreadful, like a K-State or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
would it make you feel better if I told you that Baylor is averaging 95 points per game at home?
No, because you look at the competition and
I know. You ended up beating Pine Bluff and whatever. I'm just saying 95 points per game at home is that's impressive.
They played one team at home. They played nobody at home. I was thinking they played Illinois. That was neutral.
They played nobody at home. They had a couple neutrals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they played less than nobody. They played like Pine Bluff, Central Arkansas, Alcorn State. Yeah, no, that means nothing to me.
Fair.
Congratulations, you're putting up 90 points on Central Arkansas. Way to go. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'll go with you there. As far as the total goes, I'll lean under.
I agree with you. I'm going to lean under just because I think Baylor's defense is going to give Oklahoma some serious problems.
All right, very good. Well, guys, if you tune in every day to see two guys just completely agree and kind of have a mutual admiration society all the way down the line, this isn't the show for you. Scott and I frequently disagree, and I don't know, we probably 50-50 when we disagree. I don't think anybody's dominated anybody else, have we?
I know bowl game season, I was constantly on the underdogs in some games, and that worked out well for me. But for college basketball, no, seems like we just kind of just split.
All right, there you go. Well, we've got the NBA coming up. So if you love the two matchups in college basketball, stay tuned for the NBA because we got a couple of barn burners there.
I know both of us liked the Bulls money line yesterday.
That's true.
That worked out.
All right. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwhiners.com. And by the way, don't forget to stop by and check out winnersandwhiners.com. It is a fantastic resource, especially this time of year when you're looking at all these college basketball teams that maybe you haven't had a chance to keep up with Alcorn State. Maybe you need a little more information on your Arkansas Pine Bluffs. Winnersandwhiners.com. That's the place to go. So make sure you stop and check that out. And we do appreciate you guys watching today. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Over 11,000 subscribers now, Scott. What do you think?
Can't complain.
I like it. I like it a lot. Let's keep it going, guys. We appreciate it as always. Good luck on all your plays today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned. We'll see you on the NBA video. Appreciate you watching Scott and I on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.